Today, we're going to be diving into the world of 3 physics-based mobile games, where you'll need to learn how to bend the rules of physics and adapt to try and solve these puzzles. So if you're ready to put your brain to the test, smash the like button and let's jump straight in. The first game is called Brain It On. Now this game combines a mixture of gravity as the main function within the physics area with the mass of things. So like this, for example, we can fill in a circle to make it push all the way across to one of the walls. It also then compares other aspects, for example, structures that all will fall due to gravity as well and knock each other over. The next feature that we've also got is magnets. So trying to actually separate certain magnets apart from one another, where sometimes we'll need a shape that is a lot more heavy to actually be able to split them apart. Finally, the next and final feature that I've come across so far is areas where we cannot actually draw. So in this red zone here. So we can only draw things like this in the region required. Now, that paired with gravity makes it quite a challenging game to try and actually solve some of the different tasks. However, we can get around some of these by doing much larger shapes, like so. This here and then one here to just roll into the space as shown. In terms of difficulty so far, I would give this probably a 3 out of 5, as there are still some that are quite challenging, like this one that we've got to here, where we need to try and remove the ball from the container. However, if we think about it and sort of try and build a bit of a understanding behind what we're trying to achieve, most of the time we can get a solution fairly quickly. The next game is called Shatter Brain. Now this one I have played a little bit of and have started to get the hang of it, where we're trying to shatter objects by drawing shapes, again due to physics and gravity that causes shapes to fall. Now in some situations we have got other possibilities like this here, where we've got something that we can't actually touch and it will fail if you do touch it. So we need to sort of try and adjust to build around those shapes and make sure that we do not come into contact with those shapes. If you look in the top left corner, you'll see you get a certain number of attempts and draws, so actually being able to draw objects. Like there, unfortunately, we hit the object, so we lost that one. But we could try and draw a shape like this that will hit both of them, and then a second shape like that to be able to cover 3 of the triangles that were required. And then, last one, in this situation, we need to think about something that's quite abstract as a shape, but also which way it's going to fall. Because if we do this, this is going to fall, but all the yellow pieces fall upwards, which might have some impact on where the shape needs to go and whether it's going to block the shape within the structure. Overall, I would give Shatter Brain probably only about a 2 out of 5 in difficulty, but very, very enjoyable. It's very satisfying watching all those glass things shatter in front of you. The final game that I've got, as you may be able to see by the colour of my face and on screen, is called Yellow. Now this is a series of fun games that have come out which are based on trying to solve a puzzle like this one, where doing the action is trying to cover the whole screen in that colour. So the games are currently yellow, black, and I think there's one other as well, I need to double check, where if we do the whatever the button is or whatever we actually have to try and achieve, it's covering the full screen in that colour. So here, for example, we can drag this down to cover the full screen. Whereas this next one, we've got pieces, I think. Oh, we can just colour this one in. Okay, so this one is shading it in. Okay, however, for this next one, you can see we've got that object that is part of the 4, where we need to drag it on to try and actually put it in the correct place. The next object is down here somewhere, there we go, that we can drag on into place as well, and the final object by dragging it and covering up the thing. So this next one, we place a blob and then we can draw, and actually the second button fixes it in place, because otherwise we'd just be creating a line like this. The second button fixes it in place like that, and we then get to cover the full screen. I've very much enjoyed this game so far. It's very interesting to see how the patterns work and what we actually need to try and solve. In terms of the actual variety of the game, I think there's more in yellow than the other two at the moment, especially with the other games as well, with black and I think it's orange, I'll double check, where you have to cover the full screen in a fun, different way each time. I think that is why I'll give that one a 5 out of 5 in terms of enjoyment. For difficulty, because there are so many different possibilities that it can be and you have to really dive into it and understand what they're looking for, I would say this is probably a 4 out of 5 in terms of difficulty. So that's it for today. All three of those games I very recommend downloading. They're good fun, even if you've got a few minutes here and there in your day, as a fun physics puzzle game, just to keep your brain active and yeah, try something new.